Today on Murrow News 8, why WSU is changing their approach to contact tracing,
and the retirement of one long-term Pullman Police Department employee.
Broadcasting studios on the campus of Washington State University. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Colby Innebrad.
And I'm Drew Amergy. Welcome to Murrow News 8. Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine is now fully approved after its emergency authorization over a year ago. According to the Associated Press, over tens of millions of Americans have received the Moderna vaccine so far. This approval means the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has completed the same comprehensive review of Moderna's shot as dozens of other long-established vaccines.
WSU is relaxing its contact tracing protocols for those who test positive for COVID-19. WSU Regents Professor for Pathology and Infectious Diseases, Guy Palmer, says a primary reason for the change can be attributed to the Omicron variant's high transmission and rate and less severe symptoms. Additionally, Palmer says we have become better equipped to handle the spread of the virus as time goes on.
We didn't have vaccines, we didn't have masks, so it was really a different time when contact tracing was really one of the only tools we had to deal with the pandemic.
To remain diligent and avoid affecting others, Palmer says getting tested for COVID-19 still is the recommended course of action if someone else feels symptomatic.
COVID-19 cases are still on the rise. The Whitman County Public Health Department confirmed 100 new cases today. If you take a look at this graph here from the health department, people ages 18 through 34 are seeing the most amount of cases this month. However, teenagers are right behind them. You can see just how close those two lines are. Palmer says experts are predicting case numbers to peak within the next couple of weeks, maybe even within the next 10 days.
After 44 years of service, Pullman Police Department Property and Evidence Specialist Rick Perringer is retiring today. Perringer says although he will miss the job, he is excited to spend more time relaxing. Perringer says the city has treated him well, and that out of everything, building relationships was the best part.
We've lived here a long time, so there must be something about it we like. So, yeah, but it's mostly the people. Working with that, and the youth services portion of it was pretty good too. So.
According to the Lewiston Tribune, Whitman County and Pullman City Council members believe they have found a viable Pullman bypass route. Pullman officials have been interested in a bypass for years because it would reduce freight traffic that travels through the city's downtown. The project is expected to cost $10 million.
Start collecting those canned food items. Whitman County Library's Food for Fines drive begins tomorrow. The program allows library patrons to bring in canned food, household paper products, and toiletry items to waive up to $10 in outstanding library fines. For those that do not have outstanding library fines or a library account, donated food items will go towards others' outstanding fines. Is the winter season getting you down? We speak to one WSU student about the effects of gloomy weather, next on Murrow News 8.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work. Thanks.
You, your plumber.
Breathe right into your foot.
Your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker.
On your left.
Your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot. Your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
If you've been experiencing the winter blues this year, our reporter Catherine Jones explains one way to help overcome them.
It's a feeling many WSU students know all too well.
There's no sun and the days end at like 3 o'clock.
A lack of energy and motivation as the months grow colder and the sun sets earlier. For some, these winter blues come and go, but others may experience more severe symptoms of depression as the seasons change. It's called seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. Elena Perry is a junior at WSU. She's never been diagnosed with SAD but experiences other types of depression. She says her symptoms tend to get worse in the winter.
It's rough, like, you know, if I sleep in and I stay in bed all day, when I get up, it's dark out. So it's like, it feels like I wasted a day.
Associate Director of the WSU Psychology Clinic, Connie Kirchhoff, says SAD tends to affect younger people more often.
It might be more present on a university campus than in the everyday population.
Dr. Kirchhoff says light therapy is often a good starting point for treating SAD, especially for people like Elena, who don't have a formal diagnosis but still have symptoms. For students that want to try light therapy at home, all you have to do is check out one of these happy lights from the Chinook Student Center. They're meant to mimic the outdoor natural light and bring it in. They're also completely customizable, so you can choose from white light, warm light, and also adjust the brightness. However, Dr. Kirchhoff says light therapy isn't for everyone. For people with bipolar disorder, light therapy may trigger manic episodes, and people with especially sensitive skin may need to use extra caution.
Light therapy does help a lot of people, maybe not alleviate this whole thing, but kind of like make things easier.
And light therapy isn't just for SAD. It can be used for mild symptoms of low energy and fatigue, to help reset a sleep schedule, or just to increase mood. Reporting in Pullman, I'm Catherine Jones, Murrow, News 8.
As the seasons change from winter to spring, hopefully we can expect more sun and longer days. Michelle, what do you think? Can we look forward to warmer weather?
Well, Colby, it looks like it's going to be mostly cloudy in Pullman, and the skies are looking a little overcast today. As you can see, we have a low of 25 degrees and a high of 36. And the sunset rose a little earlier this morning at 7:14 a.m. and it's expected to set at 4:51 p.m. today. And we have gusts of wind coming in from the west at 16 to 22 miles per hour. And we can expect gusts as high as 32, so don't forget your windbreaker. Tomorrow in Pullman, we can expect a 20% chance of snow and more clouds, and with a low of 14 degrees and a high of 33. And the winds tomorrow from the west are 18 to 13 miles per hour. And the sun's supposed to rise a little earlier tomorrow at 7:13 a.m. and set at 4:53 p.m. And over here we can look at the forecast for the whole state. Over here in Olympia, you can see it's going to be a low of 34 degrees with a high of 45. And over in Seattle, you can see there's going to be a low of 35 degrees with a high of 44, and there's a little rain expected. Down here in Yakima, you can see we have a low of 21 degrees. It's a little sunny, and a high of 46. In the Tri-Cities, it's a little warmer at 50 degrees and a low of 27. And over here, you can see in Spokane, it's a little warmer than it is in Pullman. And over here you can see our 5-day forecast for the rest of the week from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And it looks like the temperatures will be around in the 30s, and one day it's going to be a little colder in the 20s. That's all I have for weather today. Back to you, Drew.
Thank you, Michelle. There are plenty of reasons to celebrate being a Coug fan after this weekend.
Our very own Shagun Bomdili explains why, up next on Murrow News 8.
The WSU's women basketball team swept the Apple Cup Series this weekend. The Cougs beat the Huskies 57-43, leading them to a victory at the Alaska Airlines Arena to sweep the Boeing Apple Cup Series for the third time in the last 4 seasons. This is also historic because the last time WSU won 5 straight over Washington came during the 1973-74 and 1974-75 seasons. WSU capped off a weekend sweep of Colorado and Utah last night with a 70-43 in over Colorado. It was their largest margin of victory ever over Colorado. The Cougs will now look to continue their winning streak as they head to the Bay Arena to play Stanford and California. The Cougs will play at Stanford on Thursday and at Cal on Saturday. The Cougs split against the Bay Area schools earlier in January. The Cougs and Ducks are back on, with the men's basketball game now rescheduled for February 14th at 6 p.m. The game was previously postponed because of COVID-19 protocols. Cougs track and field is getting ready for WSU's Invitational starting Thursday. The men and women's team had multiple top 5 finishes in split squad actions on Saturday as the Cougars competed against some of the nation's best at the New Mexico team open in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the UW Invitational in Seattle.
When we come back, find out how some WSU students have been sticking to their New Year's resolutions.
You might be surprised by some of their responses. Coming up next.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
The start of the new year gets people energized to follow up with New Year's resolutions. As we finish the first month of the year, let's take a look and see if WSU students have and are keeping up with their New Year's goals.
My first one was to keep working out as I have been, and then my second one was to eat healthy, and I've been doing them both pretty well so far.
Awesome. Stop going on a diet.
So it'd probably be to drink more water.
One thing was getting into a better routine myself, like starting to get up earlier and just practice better self-care, because I feel like I just get into a routine where I'd lay in bed all day and I wouldn't get up.
Just try to stay focused, like set an alarm for each day so that I know that I'm always counting on myself to do it.
I decided not to because, like, for me, like, any time's a good time. Like, if something's like not going well in my life or I know I need to change something, then I'll just do it then. So.
Thanks for watching. If you missed anything in this or any of our previous newscasts, you can always watch us on our YouTube channel.
More news can be found at NWPB. Have a good night.